This going over here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know the mustache is gone. I feel a lot better. I kind of look like a mix between Troy Polamalu and Coheed, or not Coheed, but Claudio from Coheed and Cambria. But I feel a lot better. I don't feel like I'm eating my mustache. It's going to be, as always, my wife's going to be reading the comments because I am going to let the screen be clear so you guys can get more gameplay. And it kind of goes in and out, telling me who's online. It's not like a constant thing, so as you guys trickle in, feel free to ask any questions. Thank you so much for joining, and we're going to be playing some Spider-Man today. So for you guys, as always, I want to give you guys the fresh de la fresh. So we'll start from the beginning. Those of you who have seen the game before, it's nothing new. Those of you that haven't, prepare yourself because it's one of the best games ever made. Since I'm going to be answering questions, I'm going to leave it on friendly, just so it's a little easier. And here we go. Hair's jacked. Any questions, babe?
No, everybody's just saying, "Thor!"
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the Underworld video that I posted this past Sunday. I stayed up all night Saturday editing it. So I went all night Saturday editing it. I went to Matt's house. We filmed 2 videos with the whole crew and stayed up for both of those movies, and then came home and had a bunch of housework to do, and then finally collapsed at like, I don't know, like 7 p.m. or something crazy like that. And I slept pretty much all day Monday. But I had to get that video out for you guys.
Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
what's your favorite movie?
What's going on, Ryan? My favorite movie is The Princess Bride. It's definitely an easy question for me to answer. It's been my favorite movie for a long, long time. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Unfortunately, Holden has seen it. I don't know if Matt's seen it or Jenna, so we might do it on Holden's channel, but I know for my channel, Holden has already seen The Princess Bride, so if Matt hasn't, maybe you'll get to see a video of us reacting to that. Mm-hmm. What was the question? Oh, he actually wrote that's a question.
All units, level 4 mobilization. Location, Fisk Tower.
I feel like it's a trick question. So if I say what the answer is 16, it's incorrect, I'm assuming. To be honest, I've been out of school for years, so you're gonna get me on the scholastic questions for sure. Unfortunately, I was gonna have that as one of the options for tonight's stream, but for some reason I can't connect to the server. The Square Enix server. It keeps telling me it's unavailable right now. Try again later. I tried looking up online for troubleshooting, and most people are saying that it's because it's not in my area, not in my zip code, which is kind of weird because I don't live that far away from Holden, and he was playing it the other day. But I'm not sure what's going on with it. Maybe I have to delete it and re-download it. Not sure. No, I have not. I actually had a lot of stuff going on today. I wasn't able to go on and do my daily, I guess, research of what's going on in the world of pop culture, video gaming, magic, nothing. I don't know. Most things, I mean, I found out that they were going to have something come out, but I haven't myself looked at it. No. Is it any good?
No. We're at Fisk Tower, but still waiting on the warrant.
Mind if I join in on the fun?
You know how his lawyers are. This one needs to go by the book.
Come on, Yuri. I've been waiting 8 years for this.
Oh my God. Black Ops 1. I'm all about that, man. Black Ops 1 was almost perfect. I freaking love that it was like Vietnam.
Almost there.
My least favorite Spider-Man movie is Spider-Man 3 because of Venom. Because Venom was not done to my satisfaction, to my expectations, I should say.
For
to sound more humble. Venom is my favorite Spider-Man villain, and he wasn't represented very well. I don't think Topher Grace was a good cast for that. Obviously, the CGI was kind of rough, especially now since whether you hate the movie or love the movie, since we're spoiled with Tom Hardy's Venom movie. We both know now, or we all know now, that they can do Venom correctly, and Spider-Man 3 just didn't do it for me. It left me pretty sour. I think if they would have let Sandman be the only villain, then it would have been a far better movie. It was still a good movie. Still, you know, I just can't poop on anything Sam Raimi does. I can't bring myself to do it. So a little bit of a sellout in that regard, but I'm okay with that. But as far as my least favorite, it's definitely Spider-Man 3. No, I have not. I saw that. I think it's on sale on the PlayStation Store for a couple bucks off. That is a game I want to play. I haven't spoken to anyone who said it was like a waste of time or, you know, a big letdown. Everyone says it's incredible. I have many friends that are like, I'm 100+ hours in, so that's definitely something I'm gonna play for sure.
Morning, guys. Who's ready for their hot, fresh cup of bodily harm?
I'm definitely excited for the the Snyder Cut of Justice League. I kind of want to see what he would have done had the tragedy of him losing, you know, his daughter didn't happen, and other things I'm sure that caused it to be, you know, to have to happen, as far as like having his own director's cut or whatever. That's probably the most like highly anticipated DC thing I'm thinking about right now. The rest of it, I'm kind of just like open, don't really have any expectations or anything like that. I really want to get into the TV shows, because I feel like I'm less invested in the DC EU, the DC universe, any kind of DC you know, modern age kind of mediums, because I'm not invested in any of the characters except for Batman. So as far as you know, anything other than Batman, like the Robert Pattinson Batman or the Snyder Cut, I'm not really looking in, like, I'm not holding my breath for anything or expecting anything or hyped for anything. Oh no, no, I definitely played through Spider-Man several times. This is one of the actually, I'm trying to think. In my 32 years on this planet, have I ever platinumed another game? And I don't think I have. I think Spider-Man's the only game that I have done everything for on every difficulty. The only thing I haven't done is play through New Game Plus, just because I didn't know what it was. New Game Plus was something that I wasn't familiar with, so when I finished the game and I saw the 100% in the dashboard, I was like, well, I'm done with the game. I knew I wasn't going to get rid of it, but I didn't know that there was a New Game Plus, so I have to do that. But other than that, I've done everything on this game. So yeah, this game is amazing. I'd play through this game 100 times over, no problem.
Do your thing.
Yes. He's the day, Willie.
I don't know about tonight. I know I definitely have an early day tomorrow. We can definitely get together at some point and play together for sure. I apologize. I don't know if you're the person who actually asked me at a previous stream if I wanted to play that game. I definitely am open to it. I will have to get back to you on that though.
Sorry to break it to you, but you do not got this, buddy.
If I beat it again, like with you guys, if you guys want me to go through the entire story, it'd be the third time.
I guess this is what they call a hostile workplace.
Oh, I love them. The Arkham games are, I think, okay, unless I'm mistaken, because I'm bad with timing, I think the Arkham games were like the first games to have this kind of feel, this open world, really clean, really user-friendly, really nice-looking cinematic mixture of fighting and, you know, actual user interface. Then this game and then like Shadow of Mordor are very similar to like Assassin's Creed. So I guess Assassin's Creed was probably the first. So yeah, I'm definitely into those kind of games. I love how they make you feel like you're literally playing through like a movie or a film without necessarily having super long cutscenes, even though we sometimes have a lot of cutscenes.
They shut the elevators down. Take the stairs.
Oh, I know. I have so many games that I need to play through at least once, just because I owe it to myself as a fan of, you know, those games respectively. And The Last of Us is definitely one of them. I really want to know what they did with the second one. It was a pretty big gap, if I'm not mistaken, between the second one and the first one. And I really want to know what the whole story, where the story went. That's one of those games where the gameplay's cool, but the narrative is why I'm a fan. So I'm very interested in that. That is a game I will be picking up though very soon. And if you guys are interested in me streaming that as I play it for the first time, I'll do that for you guys, no problem. I won't play it by myself. I'll definitely just play it while I'm on stream. Especially for you guys who are really into it. You guys get to see my reaction to the game for the first time.
What's up?
I just wanted to make sure we're still on for dinner tomorrow night.
Totally. Listen, I gotta go.
Well, okay. Love you.
Oh my goodness.
You too.
Dude, you're making me want to like go to Walmart. Well, I can't. I think it's too late. Unfortunately, Walmart's not 24 hours anymore. But you're making me want to go pick up a copy like right now. Assassin's Creed, the first Assassin's Creed was flawless, dude. The only thing about that game that I just had, you know, now looking back retrospectively about it is the fact that the newer games had better, like more upgraded features and fighting and, you know, stuff like that. Limitations were like, you know, great with the first one because it was the first one. But as far as like the game goes, it was the first of its kind. It got me into Massive Attack. It was a very rare trailer or some sort of promotional little sound clip of them playing the song Teardrop, which is the only reason why I watched House. For those of you who don't know, the theme song for House is a song that is very melodic and very what do I say, like it gets me in the zone to either work out, meditate, hang out, you know, draw something. It's very inspirational for me, and when I saw that somebody had attached the Assassin's Creed concept to it, it was amazing.
I should look for a sneaky way in. There we go.
Oh heck yeah, I am totally down for that. No problem at all.
It's like my own private ventrance. Fisk may be a dirty criminal, but he has remarkably clean air vents.
No, I did not. Is that a newer... Is that like a newer graphic novel, I'm assuming, or a newer short?
They're so cute when they're oblivious.
Halfway there. Need another minute or two. You think the cops know where we are?
Is this tech support? I forgot my password.
They're okay. I'm not like, you know, I don't hate them. I think they're, for me, it's an alternate niche universe. I think it's kind of like a stylized, or the way I take it is like it's a stylized interpretation of Spider-Man. I think that someone was very, you know, like the creators, for example, were very like, they thought about Spider-Man a certain way, and it was the way they enjoyed Spider-Man, and that's the Spider-Man they wanted to focus on. But it just didn't hit the mark as far as like the Spider-Man that I know, the Spider-Man that Holden knows. Like, it's not the nostalgic kick that we got from like a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. It was more of like a new Nickelodeon Saturday morning cartoon Spider-Man, like on a skateboard. You know, there's actually a suit in this game that reminds me of how the Amazing Spider-Man movies made me feel. It's like very exaggerated. Like if you were to draw Spider-Man clearly as a cartoon with really big feet, really big hands, you know, really big head and a little beady body, very like cartoony, very like, you know, I don't know, the word's escaping me now, but it's definitely not the Spider-Man I was expecting. But I did enjoy the movies. I saw both of them in theaters. I bought them both when they came out on Blu-ray. So I mean, I definitely was a fan when it was the current Spider-Man, because who doesn't want to enjoy a Spider-Man movie that, you know, is brand new and fresh. But all in all, especially when you compare them to Tobey Maguire or even Tom Holland, it just wasn't the Spider-Man that I am a fan of. I'm not really into that, you know, very hyper emotional, confused Peter Parker, which is what Andrew Garfield's portrayal kind of made me feel. It made me feel like he was a very like misunderstood, confused, you know, he didn't have that nerd vibe, he didn't have that, you know, just like the insecurity wasn't the insecurity that I am used to with Spider-Man. Like to him it was like Gwen Stacy was just his girlfriend, and he was just like, you know, almost emo in a way for me, and that could be very weird. That could, you guys probably don't agree with that, but I'm like really having a hard time trying to find the correct words to accurately describe it. But definitely wasn't Tobey Maguire. It wasn't even Tom Holland. Like it was just its own thing. It was like, to me, it was like the difference between Christopher Nolan's Batman and like Ben Affleck's Batman, where Ben Affleck's Batman can kill people with guns, but you'll never see Nolan's Batman doing that. It's like that, if that makes sense.
I guess bombs are part of Willie's getaway plan. Sounds like they're trapped.
Oh, it just dropped. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So I definitely have to look out for that.
Everyone clear out! Evacuate the building!
Do I think any performance, I'm assuming the question, any performance of Batman? Honestly, I think that if Christian Bale fought, and it's not just because he had the anti-Superman suit in my God, Justice League, but I think that if he fought Ben Affleck to me is like the Kingdom Come Batman. He's like the Bruce Wayne from Ben Affleck's like the transition between the Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond and the Bruce Wayne from Batman the Animated Series. I feel like he's like the most badass Batman that we've gotten so far, even though we didn't get a whole lot of it. We definitely got 3 films worth of Christian Bale, which is a lot, and I don't think he's bad. I just think that I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the Ben Affleck look, the costumes look, the fact that he's just a broader man. I don't know what it is, but I get that old school seasoned Batman from Ben Affleck, and if it's seasoned Batman, dude, you're not beating that unless you're a metahuman, and even then you're gonna have a hard time.
We have no one to stop it from landing.
And no one to chase him if he flies away.
Why do I get the feeling that's what he was planning?
First of all,
along?
if it's Prime at a Nexus, welcome my friend. It's been a long time. I don't know anything about that game, but I will be more than happy to talk to you about it. I actually was gonna message you today. Earlier I went to Best Buy because I was trying to find a snowball, kind of like this mic that I'm using now, for my dad, because he's about to start taking online classes from home and he needs a webcam and a microphone, but everyone has them sold out because of coronavirus and people working from home. So I'm resorted to like try and find it on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that, but he's kind of on a time crunch, and I decided to start shopping around for RAM for my PC, but the lady at Best Buy asked a very important question that I don't know anything about, which is what a DDR3 as opposed to a DDR4 is, because she couldn't sell me any RAM because she didn't know which my computer had, and since I did not build my computer, I didn't know what to say to her. So maybe we can get together, gut my PC open, and figure out what's going on so I can get some better RAM. That I could have said in a lot fewer words. I apologize. That's a very good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that on any of the streams across the Nerd Team 6 family. I am a Harry Potter fan more so now than I was as a kid. When I was a kid, Harry Potter had just come out when I was right around, I think, like a freshman in high school, or like like an 8th grader or something like that. My mom was, having immigrant parents and stuff. She was very different in her upbringing. She wasn't like the common American, family. In my household, reading was used as like a punishment. It wasn't used as like a thing of encouragement, like, hey, you should read a book, it's really good, like we get when we go to school and we figure things out for ourselves. My wife, on the other hand, she was given books as like a reward. So if she did good in school, she got the newest Harry Potter book when it first came out, and reading for her was not something she looked at as a negative thing. So I think I would have been an even deeper Harry Potter fan had my, no offense to my mom, my upbringing been different, and reading would have been used as something like a positive reinforcement as opposed to a negative one. because I did not like to read comic books. That's why I started getting into comic books, because I was able to read comic books, and it was like watching a movie, because I got to see the photos and I got to see the flow and the use of like internal monologues and stuff like that. And plus I was an artist from a young age. So with all that being said, I feel like I got cheated out of my Harry Potter fandom. I wasn't as strong a Harry Potter fan 10 years ago as I am now. So to answer your question, yes, I like Harry Potter, but I definitely think that I would have had a different answer for the better if I was into the books when they first came out, as opposed to having read them after the last movie came out, which is something different than like the Hunger Games or like Twilight, where I was, because I was older and because I had, you know, girlfriends and stuff like that that were into those books, I, you know, read them, or we read them together, or I was able to read them before the movies came out. I wasn't able to do that with Harry Potter because it just wasn't working out at the time.
They were Willie's last line of defense. I'm right outside his office.
Take him down, now.
With pleasure.
Yes, as soon as my area or whatever the hindrance is goes away, I'm definitely going to play it. I'm really eager to play. I watched Holden and Sean play it. For those of you that don't know, Sean Schemmel, it's on Holden's YouTube. He streamed it, I think, last week. He was playing with Sean Schemmel, the voice of Goku, and it was amazing. Just to, you know, hear the interactions and hear his voice and hear him, you know, playing just like the rest of us. It was amazing. They played the game. It looked a lot of fun, It reminded me a lot of Ultimate Alliance, which is a game I would love to stream on the Xbox 360 that I have. Once I get all that software and stuff going with my computer, and I'm able to, you know, use OBS and everything, because that game is a lot of fun. It's a game that it's a lot like Diablo 3, but the new Avengers is like this kind of, you know, what is it, like perspective and everything. So I'm very excited to play it. In addition to playing the VR Iron Man, I really want to play that as well. I just have to save up some money and get the VR set up. Does Pastor remember the 21st night of September? Oh yes, I do remember the 5th of November. The gunpowder, treason, and plot.
I will destroy you.
This is the part I kind of butcher, but I think it's along the lines of, I cannot think of a reason that the gunpowder and treason should ever be forgot. If I butchered that, I apologize. I am a huge V for Vendetta fan. Oh!
That gave me an opening.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah, man. I actually today at sorry for the aggressive answer. I'm just very passionate about Miles. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, today before I went out to run some errands, I saw that the mail delivery guy was here, and he was like, "You got a package?" And I was like, "I didn't order anything," and I totally forgot I ordered a Miles Morales T-shirt last week that I wanted to get here in time for when we filmed Into the Spider-Verse, and it came today. So I was like, sweet.
You're out of your depth, boy.
And it looks really awesome. I was gonna wear it today, but then I realized the day was half over, and I definitely don't want the first time that I wear that shirt to be a half-day scenario. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It used to be Inglourious Basterds, followed by a close second being Pulp Fiction, but I have not seen a movie definitely not in recent years. I have not seen a movie that has impacted me and made me feel so many different feelings as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did when I saw it in theaters for the first time. It was such a good movie. It was one of those movies where as soon as the credits rolled, I wanted to just like duck my head and hope that no one found me in the theater so I can watch it again. When I grew up back in New York, we were able to do some, you know, things like that. I'm sure that in certain theaters you still are. Maybe not right now, but you know, there are theaters that allow you to you know, sit there and watch a movie again and not charge you just because you're literally not moving. And that was one of those movies that I really would have wanted to do that with. Oh my god, I did not know they were doing a sequel to that movie. That movie is so funny.
It'll be over.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for that.
Want excuses.
That is like the first time I was ever exposed to Eddie Murphy. Not to mention Arsenio Hall. Oh yeah, unfortunately. I'm sorry if you're a fan, but I am not a fan. I thought that the movie was not taken as serious as it should have been. I think the source material was kind of subpar. The only thing that was cool for me with those two movies, and to tell you the truth, I don't even remember if it was the original or the sequel, was the other Ghost Rider, the cowboy-like Ghost Rider, who reminded me a lot of like Spawn and Image Comics because of like medieval Spawn being the same as Spawn but different in many ways and very iconic. I enjoyed that. I love the horse, the horse having the fire trail and everything. I love the concept of Ghost Rider. I know Ghost Rider, even if I'm not mistaken, had a really big part in Civil War, but oh, you have to go check on the boys. But I think if memory serves, the comics of Civil War had Ghost Rider pretty heavily involved at some point or another, but because of rights and everything, we weren't able to get that for the MCU. But the movies were just they weren't what I expected. They weren't what I wanted. Nicolas Cage was not a very good choice. But if it's on television and I'm like at my mom's house or something like that, I'm not gonna aggressively change the channel because it's still entertaining, but I'm gonna definitely not fight to get the remote and turn the volume up, if that makes sense. I'm wondering why the... Oh, well, I saved that. I was wondering why the questions were stopping us because my wife had to go check on our boys. Oh no, I missed it. No. So, I don't know. Unfortunately, it was kind of a steal, I guess. Like, I was on Facebook Marketplace, and this Air Force soldier that was in town had to PCS away, and he couldn't take his PC because his new house or his new living quarters did not have enough space. So he had a gaming laptop that he put quite a bit of shekels into, and then he also had his PC, and the PC was a big tower. It was like water cooled and all that, and he figured he can get a little bit of extra money if he sold the PC as opposed to selling the laptop, because the laptop was good enough for him, I guess. So he went ahead and put it on the internet, and no one wanted it, and I guess it's because they just didn't. I don't know. I really don't know, because my friends have looked at it and checked it out and said it was a really good deal. I got it for like $160, but it's like a completely custom made PC, so I don't know. I think it's like a Intel i5, but I could be wrong. I think it has like quad core. I'm not a computer savvy person when it comes to software. I was before we got super fancy. Like back in the Windows 98, Windows 2000 era, I could build my own PC and customize it to do cool stuff. But I'm no savvy like now, as far as like where the computers have gone, in the present with technology and everything. So I wouldn't know what to tell you, unfortunately. That's why I need someone like Prime or other friends to help me. Because I couldn't tell you. Definitely couldn't tell you. Yes. If you go to Holden's channel, for those of you that, for whatever reason, you don't know, Nerd Team 6 Holden Extended Universe, Holden Hardman on YouTube has a video he uploaded a couple days ago of he and I watching it for the first time and briefly discussing it. And talking about what we liked, what we were excited about, and it's on his channel. I definitely recommend checking it out because you're probably going to enjoy our reaction. Once upon a time, I was definitely Team Jacob because being a huge vampire fanatic, I wasn't very happy with the vampire, I guess, traits in the Twilight universe. I am a huge Anne Rice fan, and I know that Stephanie Meyer, I don't know if she denied it or not. I'm not going to say that one way or the other because I don't know. But I definitely know for sure that at the very minimum, she has taken a lot of inspiration from Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles and how the vampires operate by each of them having their own power and being able to, use those powers how they see fit in their own personal lives as far as like making like a family and stuff like that. She kind of came up with the shimmering and the sun not being a factor, which that was the big problem for me, because if you take the sun out of the equation, if you think of Blade or you think of Underworld or you think of any of those vampire movies that are, pop culture modern age vampire movies like Twilight, and you say, the vampire doesn't die if the sun's out, like that is what the vampire's ultimate goal is to walk into daylight, because if that's the case, then they're unstoppable. And Twilight kind of just threw that out and was like, you know what, forget that, we're not going to worry about that. And that kind of really upset me. The werewolf thing, I've always been attached, big fan of werewolves and lycanthropes, to be specific, being able to do it on command. So the fact that that's how they interpreted the shifters, I was really happy with that.
Connor Stork is asking, it's a statement. He's saying, Pastor, I don't know if you've heard or not, but if you get the PlayStation VR for Iron Man,
I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, jeez. Well, looks like I know what I'm gonna save up for next. I guess. I mean, I definitely want to try VR. The only VR I've ever played was a Spider-Man Homecoming, like a free game that they gave you. I am deathly afraid of heights. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm afraid to get too tall. That's how afraid of heights I am. The fear of no control, the fear of the fact that I'm a heavier guy. I can hold my own body weight for a finite amount of time before my arms just give out and I let go. So the fact that if you hoist me up in the air and I have no control over how long I can pull myself up or anything like that, it just adds to the fear. So when I started playing that Spider-Man game and my friend's like, yeah buddy, just flip to the wall and it'll just propel you up to the side of the bridge, I lost my mind. I am a 32-year-old man in a living room sitting on a cushion, and I thought I was at the edge of a building. And the graphics are not even that amazing, no pun intended. They're not that great. They're okay, because the graphics are not what the games are about. It's about the interface and stuff like that. So, but it didn't matter, dude. Like, if he would have turned a fan on and blew like air, like wind at me, I would have lost my mind. So, I am excited to play Iron Man flying around like that. I don't know if it's the swinging that freaked me out because it was so realistic how it just like pulled me, but I want to overcome this fear of, at the very minimum, controlled heights, which is VR gaming. I won't get on like a roller coaster or anything just yet, but that is probably my greatest fear, that and being eaten by a great white shark.
That was a disaster. How could the dampener have failed?
Yes. I think Netflix, when they finally put it online, they had both versions, and we watched the extended version when it was released for sure.
Let's see what's wrong with you.
I can't really remember right now what the major differences were, but I do remember noticing a bunch of things that were different and added bonus features and stuff like that. So let me know in chat if you guys enjoyed the Underworld video. I know that it got, I don't want to say mixed reviews because it's still pretty lopsided for the good. Like I have I think 600 thumbs up and like only 10 thumbs down. I know a lot of people didn't really care for the fact that we were quote unquote talking through the movie. A lot of that was just in the editing. The way I edited the video, I was just showing and highlighting the moments where Holden had an opinion, and it just so happens that sometimes it was a comical, cheeky opinion. And you know, if that came off as like you guys didn't like it or whoever didn't like it, you know, that unfortunately I'm sorry you feel that way, but the whole purpose of that was to get Holden's, you know, reaction and get what he thought about the movie. I totally respect those that's not for them. You know, I totally respect it if you can't, you know, if you just can't stomach it or whatever. I get it. But I just, you know, I feel compelled a little bit to like defend it, you know, defend the concept of people being really upset about it, just because I didn't intended for it to be that way. I definitely thought that it was a little bit more of a reaction than for Spawn, but I'm eager to think, you know, to hear what you guys in chat currently right now have to, and if you guys were one of those who didn't care for it, I would really love to hear a detailed, like, you know, reason as to why you didn't. Just, you know, just for, I guess, you know, curiosity, not to really start a problem, obviously. Yeah, what you got? What questions you got? Oh, nice. I would love to. Only problem is, I'm going to be completely honest, it's come up in the past. My only hang up with starting a Patreon is that I do not know currently what I would offer on the Patreon, and I definitely don't want to have, you know, I don't want to have like content that, you know, it's not like worth it. I don't want to just be like, give me your money, you know. I really appreciate the thought. Thank you so much for, you know, wanting to have a Patreon for exclusive content and you know, supporting the channel and all. But unfortunately right now, unless I come up with like a brainstorming session with the rest of the guys, or, you know, with you guys and your input, I wouldn't know what to provide as far as, you know, exclusive content and things that would, you know, merit a subscription. If you want to support the channel, not saying that that's why you're asking, but if you are asking because you want to support the channel, I definitely recommend you stopping by my Teespring on teespring.com and just look for Snapkeep videos. I have, I think, 3 t-shirts on there. That'll be a really great way to help support the channel if that's what you're after. If not, then I'm definitely open for any suggestions for you know, Patreon content. I thought about doing like a drawing video where I like either I paint, you know, on a piece of canvas, or I do some sort of arts and crafts kind of a project with the cameras rolling live, like almost like a stream style, but edit it down a little bit and, you know, upload it only for patrons, because that is something that I can do and focus only on my patrons for that. If that's something that you're interested in, I'm almost like willing to do whatever it is, as long as I feel like you guys are getting your money's worth for being a patron, if that makes sense. So hopefully I know he's talking to Jen. He's supposed to talk to Jen tonight and try to find out if we can film tomorrow, because my wife is off of work tomorrow, and that would be perfect because we do have 2 young boys, which is why Ashley has to keep getting up and you know, checking on them because they're in their room now. But if we're able to film tomorrow, that'd be great. I would like to get a double feature in. I have a couple of movies that I want him to watch. I know you guys know he started the Underworld franchise, so if we can watch the second one in conjunction with, or in addition to, a shorter hour-and-a-half movie, then that would be great. I have a couple of movies in mind that I think would be awesome for him to watch. I don't mind telling you guys, just because it's kind of up in the air right now and I don't know if it's going to happen yet. So the 2 movies that I'm tossing up between are Street Fighter from like 1993 with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight. I think both of those movies, first of all, he hasn't seen either of them, which is the main reason. But he, you know, I think he would enjoy those movies as for different reasons. I think he'll enjoy Demon Knight on a more serious, you know, reasoning based off of the source material. But I think that Street Fighter would be a fun little segue from like Spawn, you know, super dated, cheesy, you know, like Mortal Kombat. But I think he's already seen Mortal Kombat. Like I would go like Street Fighter and then Mortal Kombat and then like stick to like video game movies for a little while and just get all of that done, because I'm sure he hasn't seen a lot of those. But that's what I have planned. Hopefully we're able to do a film tomorrow, just so that I can have a video done for you guys by next week, because that's the goal. I want to have one done every week, and I know that scheduling is just really hard at the moment for all of us to, you know, get all the content filmed. But he and I are trying to get to some sort of schedule where we can squeeze my movies in at some point during the week as well.
He asked me to review his work if I had time. May as well dig in now.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't even know what it is. I feel like I should, because the name sounds familiar, but it's not ringing a bell right now. I don't know if either of them have seen it. I pretty much with Holden, as far as my videos go, I pretty much just ask him. I look at my collection, or I look online and I look at movies that were like really popular or really well received, and I just ask him. You know, I'll text him and be like, "Hey man, have you seen this one yet?" And he'll be like, "Yay or nay." And if he says no, then, you know, I pretty much jot it down on a notebook. If he says yes, then I just move on, you know. That's how I found out that he had already seen, like, he had already seen Blade. He had already seen The Princess Bride. You know, those are movies that I really wanted to show him, because they were movies that really mean a lot to me, but he had already seen them. So that is how I ask, you know, for my videos. With Matt, it's pretty much a safe bet. 9 times out of 10, Matt didn't see the movie, so it's kind of safe to just assume, especially with the newer movies. We could just be like, "Have you seen this?" Just for courtesy and just to double check, and then he'd be like, "Nope," and then we're like, "Okay, good to go." But with Holden, is a little harder, because he's seen a lot more movies than you know, most people have. He and I have seen a lot of movies, so no, I have not. I will as soon as. Before I go to bed, I'll watch it. If Prime, if you're still in the chat, I definitely want to see it. I am excited, and I will find the video on your channel, and I will watch it. So right now we're basically doing all these little mini games. I know you can skip them. I just don't. I don't know. I don't like skipping them, just because they're a little challenging, or they can be challenging,
like,
and it just adds to the fun of the game. Makes you feel a little bit more like Peter Parker. I would love that. I would 100% love that idea. I don't see a reason why not from them. I don't see, you know, a problem with it. I'm sure that Matt and Jenna and Holden and Jen would be okay with that. It's probably going to be, it's a very good question. It's something that I didn't even think about. I know I've been trying to do, what is it? Like Matt playing D&D for the first time, because he has a segment on his channel, I believe, where he tries things for the first time. So I would love to try and do that, just because it's a lot of fun and I have experience and I know what board games to bring. But it's a scheduling thing. We're going to have to figure out what schedule works better for all of us. You know, can we squeeze it in between filming, that kind of thing? But it's a very good question, very good suggestion. I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. Oh, I see. Oh, that's actually, I didn't think about that. I don't think there's a way for me to do it without ending the stream. Let me try. Maybe there is a way. View comments. Let's see. Advanced settings. Maybe this will do it. There we go. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I know I'm out of all of Nerd Team 6, I'm the one that's in the worst shape, and if I'm willing to participate, I don't see why the rest of us won't.
He's in the raft.
joining Scorpion.
I want to take a
Electro,
second
and
to
the
thank
rest.
everyone for
That's
hanging
pretty
out.
honest.
I think
That's a steam
this is the
company.
most I've had like consistently throughout the stream. Join me while it was live. I don't know if it was the timing. I know just before 9 or p.m. I think is when I did it. I don't know if it's the fact that I did the poll and you guys voiced your opinion on what game I should play. But I want to thank you guys, be it, you know, whatever reason you guys are hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. You know, you guys are why I do this. I mean, I do this because I want to, obviously, and I have a lot of fun making content, but I love this personal, you know, idea of being able to play a game and answer questions and be a little bit more personal with, you know, you all, because you guys are great.
Plug the book. And as always, if you order Mr. Jameson's book, Spider-Man, Threat or Menace, within 24 hours of our broadcast, you'll get an autographed copy at no extra charge.
No personalization.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, Holden and I have, and it's not just Holden and I, I'm sure, you know, you guys with your friends and stuff, your close friends, we've been friends for a while. We've had the, you know, the privilege of being friends for a long time, and you know, coming up with little quips and little jokes and little, you know, nuances and or not nuances, but like little, you know, things that we do, little idiosyncrasies, I guess, that we do that's funny. You know, the way we comment, the way, like, for us, if someone, like right now, if I were like to splat across one of these buildings, one of us would go, oh, you know, stuff like that, which is a lot of just the way we express ourselves with humor and stuff, and like just lightheartedness. And I know that that's not for everybody. So, you know, it's one of those things. I'm still learning. I'm still very young YouTuber as far as even the crew goes. So I'm definitely trying to, you know, balance it out, and hopefully, you know, I don't screw up too bad.
Now that you quit smoking, what do you tell people when you come up here?
That I need a break from their crap.
Yeah, sure. I think
Fair enough.
the Arkham series was redone for PS4 because, to be honest, I'd rather just buy the game for PS4 than fool around with a computer. And like, if I know that I have to do that for retro games, but if I can find it for like PS4, I'm pretty sure that they re-released them for PS4. And if that's the case, I wouldn't mind doing it at all. First of all, it's Batman and it's the Arkham games. They're awesome. So yeah, I'm totally on board for that.
They tell me someone sabotaged the central server, and now all the towers are offline.
Inside job?
Maybe. We'll figure it out later. Right now, we need to get the towers back online. Fast.
And you called me? Aw, that's sweet.
I called someone I could trust.
Yeah, that's actually something that I would love to do. I know he's seen a couple of them here and there. I think because Holden has seen many movies, I might like have a branch off little mini, I don't want to say mini series, but a little branch off disclosure kind of a deal where it's kind of like, you know, my friend revisits or my friend watches for the first time in a long time or something witty like that, where you guys know that I'm being upfront and transparent and telling you guys, look, he has already seen this movie, but it's been like 10 years. And if it's a movie that he's only seen once, that obviously would be a prime candidate for that. But if it's also a movie that you guys are just really about, and you know, like Nacho Libre, I know that Chief Supreme, he's big into that movie, and he and I have joked several times about it. And Holden and I, like that movie, we can quote it from beginning to end. If that's something that you guys would want to see on the channel, then I'm all for it. We're gonna have a great time doing it, and you know, we'll give you guys content that you want to see. But I definitely want to be upfront and let you guys know when it is a movie that Holden has already seen, and you know, it's not. I don't want you guys to think, oh, he's just doing this just to make content. I definitely want you guys to know the reasoning for him. So I'm up for that. I'm sure he would be up for that. So definitely
Pretty sure these guys
let me know if you guys are up for that or not. Like, you know, watching something like Nacho Libre, for example.
Get off your ass! Run, stop fighting fair!
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah. I think he's seen those movies. I don't think he's seen them more than once, just because I've helped Holden move several times, and I don't think those movies are in his collection. And usually, any movie that Holden wouldn't mind seeing more than once, 9 times out of 10, he ends up owning it one way or the other. So I definitely know I have all 3 of the movies, so I would present that to him and see if he wants to do that.
Okay.
That would be
wrapped up.
really cool, actually.
Now I'm seeing an assault near you.
You're in luck, Yuri.
That would be really
Your
cool. I'm
favorite
actually
tough
I'm gonna
but
mention that to
lovable
Holden. I'm
grizzled
sure that
detective is in town.
he is probably somewhere in the back of, you know, his mind. He's making a list of one-off movies that he would like to show Matt that are just, you know, cool movies, and I'm sure that that's on the list if Matt hasn't already seen it. Wait, what was the question now?
Pastor is he's saying he has dogs. He's asking if you have dogs.
Oh, no. Those dogs are Jen's dogs. Well, Jen and Holden. The black and white boxer is Holden's dog, Boston, and the Brendel pit bull is Jen's dog, Falcon. And they're the ones that were in the Underworld video. We were at Holden's place filming that, and you know, the puppers were with us and definitely keeping us warm. They were keeping Jen a little too warm. At one point, she got really hot and she had to get the dog down. But the dog, there's a part in the video where you guys watch that Falcon will just jump up on the couch and Holden's like, geez, you know, it's because she didn't want to be away from Jen. So it's really adorable. And I had to leave it in the final cut of the video.
Need a date to the policeman's ball?
You got a black and white suit? No ball this year anyway. We spent too much integrating Oscorp surveillance tech.
I have, the question was if I've heard of the movie Ankle Biters, and I have not. I feel like I should, because it sounds like something that I would appreciate, having two little kids under 6. So I'll make a note of it. I'll have Ash make a note of it, and I'll research it when I'm done with the stream.
Right now we need to get the towers back online. Fast.
And you called me? Aw, that's sweet.
I don't know if ECT Tristan is referring to Napoleon Dynamite, but that is also a movie that I asked if Holden had seen. He said he has. It's not uncommon, because as a fellow, you know, person raised in the Christian community, it is one of those movies, one of the few movies that happen to be a pop culture movie in addition to a really funny movie, and not you know, infringe with Christian values. So I think most Christian, you know, if you were raised in the Christian community, you probably were exposed to Napoleon Dynamite. So I wasn't really surprised that Holden had already seen it.
We just had a tower come back online. Was that you?
Not just a pretty mask, huh?
Whatever you did, any chance you could do it to the other towers?
Sure, but just so you know, I had to sync up with the tower to fix it. I'm seeing all crime data in the area now.
So,
like
as far as like what is like the most fun, like what I anticipate the most is a good slasher movie. I definitely am a big Michael Myers fan. The question was, I'm gonna get used to this, I promise. So the question was, what horror movies are my favorite in the genre, like vampires, zombies, that kind of thing. My favorite is a good slasher movie. If it's a slasher movie that pays homage to the first Halloween, it can't go wrong. It is something that I'm going to be a fan of even before I see it. It's something about slasher movies that I really like the tropes. I really like, you know, the self-awareness of it when it's done correctly. It's kind of hard for me to not enjoy a horror movie as far as like a slasher movie, even if like the killer is like, for example, The Cabin in the Woods. The killer was many monsters, and I still enjoyed the heck out of that movie, more so than like a serious movie, you know, something like The Stranger or something like. It just doesn't do the same thing as like a good slasher movie for me.
You're in luck, Yuri. Your favorite tough but lovable, grizzled, seen-too-much detective is in town.
What? No. You promised you wouldn't do that any...
I did not watch DC Fandom. When we were filming on Sunday, I know that when we were on Matt's Live, people were asking if we had seen it, and Holden and I, a lot of the questions were directed at us, and I hadn't seen it, he hadn't seen it, just from being so busy with all the content creation. So I haven't seen it yet as far as watching, you know, the coverage or anything like that of DC Fandom.
Leave me alone!
Keep it quiet, lady.
Don't touch me!
Get away from her!
So the question was if I ever watched the TV show Hoarders. Yes, I am still a huge fan of any kind of, like, what would be the word, like niche reality TV, like not so much like The Bachelorette or anything like that, but like reality TV that's like very obscure. Like I watched Extreme Cheapskates, very, very, very like religiously. I've seen like what is it? Hoarders, My Strange Addiction. You know, those kind of shows I really enjoy because it is so obscure and it is so like relatable, I guess, especially Hoarders. It's funny that you bring that up because one of my high school teachers was on Hoarders, and it went viral like in our community because we had no idea that he was a hoarder. And when we all saw the episode, I know that my friends and I that saw it, we were like, are we seeing things? Is that our gym coach? Like, is he literally on Hoarders? And we asked him, and of course, you know, he was embarrassed about it, and I was like, dude, no judgment, you know, but not everybody felt that way because we were in high school, and, you know, kids in high school are the way they are, but I definitely enjoy those shows because I think it's fascinating. So the question is what my favorite superhero is by Luis, you said?
All clear, ma'am.
My favorite superhero is Batman. I think Batman is the only hero that can be classified as an anti-hero in some lights and also a superhero. Or take that back.
I'm sure you can, but just in
that's a
case,
different
there's a
question
place
that I
where
had
the
answered
beasts are.
earlier. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man. Now, as far as like being a superhero and not an anti-hero, which is what my thought process was originally. Spider-Man is just a hero. He is not an anti-hero. He is very selfless. So he is the epitome of like a superhero to me. Even though most of the comic book characters that I follow and that I am a fan of are anti-heroes. Not to get too like, you know, sentimental and mushy, but being raised in like, you know, an urban city and seeing a lot of things that most people shouldn't see in their lifetime, you know, tends to have an effect on you. And seeing a good revenge story or anti-hero film growing up was very cathartic for me because I was just, you know, exposed to a lot of stuff like that. So not to get all dark and depressing, but
Already regretting this.
All right, so since I have the screen up, I'm not really sure where Ash was up to in the questions, but I'll read what's coming up on the screen. So, you're not a Christian? Okay, we're not practicing any day-sided stuff on the stream. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what that's about. But, Random Andy's channel, Arthur Plays, OG, good to see you too. I feel so small. I'm not really sure what that, maybe you're answering someone else's question. I'm not really sure. But, Luis Fernando says Captain America is great too. Yes, Captain America is amazing. He's definitely, you know, another very good example of someone who is very selfless. And, you know, that scene in Captain America the First Avenger when he jumps on the grenade, that is the greatest moment for me besides Avengers Assemble that Cap was ever a part of. Or I take that back, the elevator scene is my favorite too, so I gotta definitely include that in there. So MN Comic Books asks what episode was your teacher's in the I don't know the name of the episode, but my teacher he was the person that was obsessed with Elvis. So if you do like a Google search and you find an episode where a man has like, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars of Elvis memorabilia, that was my gym coach when I was in high school. Arthur Plays, Random Andy's channel. Oh, you're a mod for Jenna and Matt, or for Holden and Matt. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I definitely, you know, really enjoy seeing the people that come in and out of, you know, all of our lives, and names that I'm starting to, you know, they're becoming household names, you know, and the more that you guys show up, the more that we talk about you guys. So we're so thankful, and I think I could speak for all of us when I say that. So Mark McKeever says Hawkman and Dr. Fate announced for Black Adam movie, also Eclipso. Oh, that's awesome. Alright, so let me see. I think there it is. I knew there was a backpack around here. So MN Comic Books, Pastor, when you gonna get a P.O. box? I want to send you some comics. Oh wow, that's awesome. You don't have to do that, but we're I know that last week Holden, Matt, and I were talking about getting a P.O. box. I think we're gonna do like a, you know, splitting it equal ways. I think we're going to get Jeremy involved as well if he's interested, so that we can have a common PO box that we can get fan stuff sent to. I definitely am going to get a hold of them and figure that out. I would love to do that, and I would love to display whatever you guys, any art or any kind of things that you send me. I will treasure them like they are collectibles, just because you guys mean the world to me. So I will definitely be making an official, if not all of us, at some point in the near future, maybe this weekend, we'll make an official announcement as to when we're going to have a PO box ready for you guys, and then you guys can send us whatever you guys want us to definitely, whatever you want to send us. I know for sure I would be more than happy to do an unboxing video, like a fan unboxing video. As a fan of those videos from the YouTubers that I follow, I would love to have my own. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. Thank you so much. So, great question. My favorite supervillain, if I am not thinking too much about it, or if I could just say one of them, is Magneto. Magneto is a villain that I like a lot because his motive is not very evil per se.
Hey, fellas.
He's more of a person who has a perspective that most people can identify with if they're ever in that position. So it's a lot easier for me to be a fan of a villain and not just be like, oh, I just like the bad guys, you know what I mean? Which, that's fine. I know I have friends that are like, I hate when the good guy wins, I hate the Boy Scouts, I hate the Captain Americas and stuff. But as far as me and villains go, I appreciate a good villain who has a decent reason for their mad, their lunacy or their perspective on why they don't like what they don't like. And Magneto has a very relatable one, because if you're backed in a corner so long in your life, you're gonna lash out, and that's pretty much what his ideology and everything stems from. It's just persecution and stuff, and it's a very real problem even in real life.
Don't you mean Spider Cop's gonna repair it?
Been doing a little thinking, Yuri. Policing's a young man's
Oh,
game.
I told him that. I answered that one already. Yep.
He's no spring chicken.
Please be going where I think you're going.
So Christian Ramirez is asking if I've seen the Umbrella Academy. It's one of your favorite Netflix shows besides the Marvel shows. I have not seen it yet. That is a show that I just finished The Office yesterday, and I do have a couple of other shows that other friends have recommended, but I am going to be watching them, doubling up on them, I guess is the term. I know I need to watch the Umbrella Academy. I need to watch, or I have been recommended to watch other shows on Netflix. So when I watch it, I wouldn't mind doing a video just on my thoughts if you guys would be interested in that. Yeah, you guys, the numbers have not dropped below 25 of hanging out tonight playing Spider-Man. I really want to thank you guys. I guess this is the game that you guys were really wanting to see. I'm glad I did that poll, because I was able to get your guys' input, and it shows that you guys really wanted to see Spider-Man. So thank you so much for hanging out and sticking with me. For those that do not have or they're not in the time zone that'll allow them to watch it live, it'll definitely be posted on YouTube at some point tomorrow, so you can watch it then.
They're just nervous in the face of imminent triumph.
No.
Calm down.
No, I did not. What was the question?
Should I head back to the lab for cleanup?
No. I'm stepping out for dinner.
So the question was what my opinion is on the Hobbit trilogy. I think the Hobbit trilogy is a lot of fun. I'm a big dwarf fan. I don't think it's as good as the Lord of the Rings trilogy was, but it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a refreshing, dose of, the Tolkien storyline as far as live action and stuff goes. I haven't seen the movies more than like once or twice each, so I don't have much more than that to say about it, but I don't hate them. Of course, I didn't read the Silmarillion or anything like that to know the inconsistencies with the source material. Like some of my other friends who are diehard Tolkien fans are like annoyed with Peter Jackson, but I don't have that problem, that handicap, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, nice. Yeah, well, Ash loves Lucifer too. I know the new season came out, if you're talking about the Lucifer from Netflix, that is. And I know I'd like to watch it with her at some point. What's going on, Kyle? I just saw that you're saying what's up. I'm trying to read comments here, and she's trying to get the back comments that I haven't read answered yet.
Chief is saying Community and How I Met Your Mother are another great comedy TV shows that can hold their own against The Office if you're looking for a laugh.
Nice. I know that Jenna, Matt's wife, put me onto The Office, and Matt pretty much was like, yes, watch it. So I watched it. You know, like most shows, I was a little apprehensive in the first couple episodes. I thought that Michael was just a big dick, and I was like, why do I want to watch this? You know, but then after a while, I realized what kind of person he was, and I just fell in love with each character. And it was the only show besides Friends that I was able to binge watch, and literally, no exaggeration, every day I'm like, all right, let's roll with the next episode. So I am up for any show that's like The Office and or Friends. And if How I Met Your Mother is something that, even though the ending was ruined for me, some shows are good, even though, you know, the destination, you know, it's all about the journey. So I will watch it if you guys really, you know, make a good case about it being worth watching, even though you know the ending already.
Let's see if we can tune the prosthetics grip force.
Oh yes, that is on Holden's list. I can tell you with 100% certainty, he wants to show Matt Daredevil, as far as you know, giving him a different take on something that's not MCU related. And that is going to happen. So definitely keep your eyes out for that in the near future. What do you mean?
That's better. Should avoid bone-crushing hand. Interesting. Doc's hardwiring in a basic spatial mapping system.
Oh, well, if you missed one of Holden's videos, it's definitely still on his channel. Any of the lives, they're definitely in his channel somewhere. Oh, right. Because he had a family emergency. Yeah. Yes, Holden really did not want to miss that. It was just extenuating circumstances, and he really couldn't help it, and he felt terrible. But we told him, we're like, look, you need to go. You need to make sure everything's okay at home, and you know, everyone will understand. Don't worry. And for the most part, you guys were awesome. I don't think anyone actually was mean to him or anything about it. So, you know, it made him feel a lot better, because he was very worried, because he knew that it was a really big deal, and he didn't want you guys to think that he just didn't care about you guys. It was just something that he really could not control. So we were there making sure throughout the movie, you know, that he was okay and that everything was going all right, because we knew that it was a very big deal if he, you know, left in the middle of it. So you know, it's one of those things where you got to do what you got to do, you know. Hello, the question was if I have been watching anything interesting lately, and the answer is yes. I started, my boss is another fellow Netflix aficionado, I guess I can say safely. She put me onto a show called Shameless. Now, for my younger audience members in here, that is not a show for you. It is definitely an adult-driven show. It is a crazy show, and I was blown away by it. I'm only like 2 episodes in, so as far as the question being anything interesting, yes, Shameless is one of the most interesting shows I've ever seen. That is another show that I was recommended to watch, and I'm excited, because I am a Parks and Recs, or I am a Office fan, and I hear that it's very similar to Parks and Recs, or Parks and Rec, I guess. So I definitely want to watch it, and I like Chris Pratt a lot, and a lot of the, if not a lot, but I know some of the actors, you know, quite a bit of them from The Office are in that show, so I'm definitely into watching it for sure. Yes, I watched the first, several seasons. As soon, like right before Eric left, is when I kind of stopped watching it. I think it was when Red had like a heart attack or something. I had a friend who had a heart attack and like, you know, passed away from it, and it kind of got it hit a little too close to home, so I just kind of like took a break from the show. But I do love that 70s show. I think it's really, really funny. It's one of those classic shows that I would see, that I would watch, you know, when I got home from school at the end of the day in the afternoon, and I would, you know, be waiting for dinner at home. It'd be one of those shows that I would like watch and totally, you know, lie to my mom when she asked, what are they doing in the circle? I'm like, I don't know, Mom. They're just talking about their day, I guess, you know. So yeah, that show definitely for sure. I think Chuck's an older show from like USA Network or something. I didn't watch it, but I do know what you're talking about, and I do know people that really swear by it. I think it's one of those like buddy detective shows, if I'm not mistaken, and I heard that it's actually pretty entertaining. Oh, I appreciate it. I always welcome all of the children among the fence. Coheed and Cambria is a huge thing in our life, in our household. I took Ash to see them for the first time at the beginning of this year, I believe, right before coronavirus hit, and it was incredible. I love that band. I love what they do. I love all of their music. I love that it's a story. If you guys don't know anything about Coheed and Cambria, definitely don't sleep on it. Check them out. It is a lot of fun just to experience their music, even in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to go see them in concert to get the full effect of what their music can do. Well, I heard from, I can't remember who it was, told me that it was my brother, actually.
Way more efficient.
He said that they had a big problem. The creators of the show and Netflix and the execs had a big problem with the coming to the agreement of, you know, creative control and a bunch of other stuff. So the show is like either indefinitely paused or it's not going to happen, unfortunately. And I know my brother called me. He was very upset about it. So if it happens, I'm excited. You know, I'm a big Avatar fan, nowhere near as big as my brother or my wife, but I am a big Avatar fan, and if I get to see it done right, because I remember being very, very excited when the movie was announced. When we got that trailer, dude, like that trailer was amazing. That trailer with Aang in the temple with the voiceover, and he like you know, systematically starts putting out the candles with his staff, and then he blows them all out with one. I mean, that was insane. But the movie was so bad.
What are you working on?
Oh, just a side project.
Yes. The question was if I'm excited for The Boys Season 2. Yes, I am very excited for that. The show was very different. I think it was perfect. I think that the fact that they chose to put it on like a streaming service so that they could be a little no holes barred with it, and, you know, show, you know, the violence and like the imagery of it, I think was a very good decision. And I'm very, very interested in seeing where the show goes, because I haven't read the comics or anything yet.
You're bound to be a target too.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Your secret's safe.
Oh, wow.
Well.
So Luis Fernando, I see here, has a question. If, Pastor, do you like Transformers? Yes. I think Transformers is a really cool concept. It's a really cool like story. I am not a diehard Transformers fan. Like, I couldn't tell you all the characters' names and everything. I did really enjoy Transformers 1 a lot. More than most people, more than most diehard Transformer people. I love that movie. And I did really enjoy Bumblebee a lot. Bumblebee and the first Transformers are the most fun I've ever had watching those movies. Transformers came out a little bit before my time, as far as like I didn't grow up being a fan of Transformers because I was a little young. But I do like Transformers for sure.
Spider-Man suit crafter. White Spider, huh?
Oh, that's unfortunate. Hopefully they learn from M. Night Shyamalan's mistake and they don't, you know, ruin it. I mean, I if you're a fan of it, I'm sorry, but it really, really, really left a bad taste in my mouth and most people's mouths. So
That should do it.
Oh, Quantum Leap. No, I was talking with my boss about it the other day at work because I had gone somewhere. Oh God, I'm trying to remember where it was. It was a store that I had gone to, and they had Quantum Leap on DVD for like $24 for the whole series. And I was like, I've never heard of this show. And if my phone wasn't dead, which perpetually is an issue of mine, I would have messaged my boss and been like, hey, you're into the Twilight Zone, you're into, Firefly and all these other shows that are very similar to that kind of a fandom. What do you think of this Quantum Leap show? And I wish I would have, because he said it was really cool. That, it's one of those shows that obviously it shows its age, but the premise is so amazing. And then when he told me about it, I felt so bad for not getting it. But I have not seen any of the episodes. I do know what it's about, though, and I think it's great. See, I really like this suit. Like a lot. I love at first I didn't care for the white spider and the white accent, but I have grown to love that suit. Unfortunately, once they released the Raimi suit, I can't bring myself to swing with anything else. Of course, if you guys want me to play with a certain suit on, I don't mind as we progress further into the game. If that's something that you definitely want to see, I don't mind playing with any suit. But yeah, like the Scarlet Spider, also dope. Oh my god, dude, Baby's Day Out. Honestly, my brother and I thought we were the only ones who knew about that movie. That movie, if Holden, oh my god, thank you so much for reminding me of that movie. If Holden has not, Holden, if you're in the chat and you have not seen Baby's Day Out, that is probably going to be the movie we do tomorrow if we film. That movie will have me crying. I'm seriously, I am not joking, dude, when I tell you that movie hits me so hard with laughter, I stop breathing. It's that funny to me. So I am all about Baby's Day Out.
Yuri, I'm at a Fisk construction site, and there's a lot of guys here who aren't exactly constructing.
Oh man. Alright, so Ash is gonna go check on the boys. So if I were to suggest a comic book for you to read, it would be a graphic novel, and it would be Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan was, not just because I'm a diehard Wolverine fan, but it was such a good read. It was such a good story. Even though the movie was very different, the Logan movie was very different than Old Man Logan, it was so good to read. I've read it so many times. I would recommend that for sure. Oh, hey, David Jung, he's one of my Magic the Gathering players before coronavirus. Yes, I did beat this game twice already, but everyone wanted to see the gameplay, so wow, I'm all up for it. Plus, I could never get enough of this game.
Let's see. Can't read this.
All right, so gadget webs, impact web, blow.
Awesome.
Just like that, you were plastered to the wall, sir. So let's see, what can I read on the screen? Nick Mayfield was looking for. Oh, you were looking for it at your local comic shop? Yeah, it was actually recommended to me by my local comic shop's owner, because I walked in and he saw that I had like 4 or 5 Wolverine graphic novel, like omnibus kind of deals, and he was like, oh, you're a Wolverine fan? And it was before I had my son, so I didn't have the tattoo. And I was like, oh yeah, dude, Wolverine, that's what I'm about. And he goes, have you read Old Man Logan? And I said, no, I haven't even heard of it. And he personally came out from behind the counter and went to the shelf and said, I have one in stock. Do yourself a favor and buy this graphic novel. And I said, okay. And I read it on the way home. Like, my future wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, Ashley, was driving. And I said, apparently this is like the greatest thing since sliced bread if you're a Wolverine fan. And she goes, are you going to read it? I said, yeah, apparently I'm not going to waste any time. Dude, I finished it before I got home, if I remember correctly. It was that good. And I've read it since then. I've let my boss read it. I'm very weary about loaning it out because I only have 1 copy. But if if I'm close enough to you and I trust you, I will lend you my copy, Unfortunately, you guys are everywhere across the world and I can't do that. But that is definitely a book I would recommend any comic book Wolverine fan to read. It is incredible. It is so good. All right, let's see some of these. Oh yeah, the one that didn't end well for Hulk. Yeah. And if you when you guys that haven't read it yet, read it. You guys will know exactly what he's talking about when Nick's. I think it's Nick who said that. Yeah, when Nick, what Nick is referring to. So Dr. Squatch, wow, Dr. Squatch, I actually use that soap. It's actually pretty awesome. If you're affiliated with them, your soap is great. Do I think Black Cat will ever show up in a live-action movie? Possibly. I can totally see Black Cat coming into the MCU because it's so unorthodox with, you know, quote-unquote MJ and it not being super driven with Mary Jane per se. I could see that happening. Also would be a very good opportunity to take a character that hasn't really been highlighted since Bryce Dallas Howard and show it, because the Black Cat in this game is really good interpretation of Black Cat. So the source material is there.
Sleep it off.
So MN Comic Books, Pastor, give me some credit if you watch Baby's Day. Oh, I will. Oh, I will. Actually, I'm going to make a note of that right now. I have a pen handy. Do me a favor, babe, and write down that capital M, capital N Comic Books recommended Baby's Day Out. Because if we watch that tomorrow, I definitely want to give him credit. Oh, Oxford, what's going on, buddy? Oxford Haney says, have you checked out Comic Historian on YouTube? He does a great job recapping comics. Oh wow, no, I haven't. I definitely will though. That sounds like a really good time. I love it. From first impression, I think it's great. It's very even though you don't really hear him speak, that scene, for those that saw the trailer, that scene that he is like Commissioner Gordon or whoever is on the roof, and you actually see him walk by and like walk towards the camera or whoever, it reminded me of Kevin Conroy from the animated series. I don't know why, just the fact that he was just, you know, he's not hanging upside down from anywhere, not that there's anything wrong with that, but he was on the ground, you know, man in a costume. It just reminded me of the animated series, and if that's the tone that they go with this one, guys, I'm gonna be all about it. Yes. Yes, the question was if I've read The Killing Joke. I have. I know that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's Holden's favorite graphic novel of all time. And he was the one that showed it to me. So yeah, I definitely read that.
Uh-oh, more of them.
Oh wow, okay.
Spider-Man, turns out we've busted 4 illegal firearms
Oh wow.
within a 3-block radius of that site.
Gun running. Let's see what I can do to cut down the supply.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Come is so good. I read it when I was way too young to appreciate it, so I should reread it. But yes, it is a really good read.
Get ready for some pain.
You gonna shoot me, huh? I mean, there's different things you can do. Like the MJ in this video game is very, you know, not vanilla, I guess would be the term. She's very, like, useful, even though a lot of what she does is kind of like, you know, typical MJ. But I definitely think that, you know, if they go too far off canon, like go like completely different with it, it would have to be a total like Flashpoint kind of a concept, because the fans wouldn't react to it as well. You know, and that's just, you know, just not trying to like rain on your parade. I totally am for, you know, originality and stuff, but from like a standpoint of an actual movie, like a comic book is different, because comic books attract actual like fans, like diehard fans that are like, you know, we read comics because we like it. You know, it's not for the broad audience like a movie is, that they want to put as many butts in the seats as possible. So I could see it happening for a comic, but maybe not for a movie. The question was if I've read The Walking Dead. I actually started reading the first compendium. I have the first 3. I think the first 4 are out now. I need to get back to it because I am caught up with the show, I believe. I don't think... It's been a while. I know in October, I think, is when the show comes back out, but I think I'm caught up with the show. And I really want to read the comic to find out the differences between, you know, each of the characters and, you know, what they did in the show as opposed to what they did in the comic book. Oh, yes. Oh, both of them. I definitely did. I didn't waste any time. Oh, really? Dude, that's awesome. I didn't know that they that Lock and Key was based off of a comic book. That's interesting, because I actually was looking at what, you know, shows to watch the other day. I came across it, I think, on Netflix, or it may have been on the PlayStation page, and I was like, what is this Lock and Key thing? Did not know it was based off of a comic book. Oh, wow, really?
Down, Captain. Actually, web down.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that there was a... See, a lot of this stuff, I'm so glad that you guys like put me onto this stuff, because I don't do nearly as much research as, you know, I should, with knowing when things come out and stuff like that. So I'm really happy that you guys are putting me on all this exciting stuff.
Keep an eye out and report in if you see anything suspicious.
So do you think the MCU will reboot itself anytime in the next 10 years? How do you think fans will react?
I don't think the MCU is going to reboot itself per se. I think it might retcon some stuff. I know that Disney is definitely looking at retconning Star Wars, so I wouldn't put it past Disney to retcon the MCU as far as like maybe Captain Marvel goes, because that's really the only thorn on everyone's side as far as like a character or a movie that, you know, can I guess they wouldn't pan a reboot or a redo. I don't think, definitely not in the next 10 years. I think that if the only thing that I can think of is that, let's say after Phase 4, Phase 5 is really like a prequel phase. Man, like they're gonna have like young X-Men or something like that, and that'll be kind of like a soft reboot. But I don't really think that they'll do anything significant in the next like 10 years. I think that would be a really ill-advised move.
That'll do it. Map should be recalibrated now. Haven't done much photography since quitting the Bugle. Forgot how much I enjoy it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure if I know Holden timing is everything with that man. I know Matt says he flies with this, you know, by the seat of his pants, but Holden definitely has great timing when it comes to content creation. So I can't imagine that we won't prioritize watching Wonder Woman before the new one comes out. As far as like reading comic books, I would definitely like go on like Reddit and go online and like ask people if they know of any kind of like subscription-based service that may or may not be, you know, what you're into. But as far as older comics where you don't have to worry about getting, you know, like you don't have to worry about what's the word I'm looking for, like continuity, like, oh, I can't get episode 1 because they only have episodes, you know, 2 through 6 or something like that. You may have to have like some sort of subscription thing, but if you really want to read it, I would recommend it. And just, if it is a subscription, just have it open until you finish reading them, and then if you don't want it anymore, cancel it. That's what I would do personally. No, I did not. To be honest, ever since Kobe Bryant passed away, I've been kind of, I haven't really been following the NBA. I'm still, you know, I didn't meet the guy, but I feel like he he was such a big part of my childhood that I feel like I did know him. So I'm kind of like still on a grieving process when it comes to the whole Kobe Bryant thing. I haven't really been following sports in general, but definitely not basketball. You know, I just haven't. You know, I'm not surprised. Coronavirus has done a lot, so, and it doesn't seem like it's letting up as far as like people getting, you know, quote unquote back to normal. So hopefully it does soon, but I'm not really surprised that the NBA and you know, other sports are kind of like canceling everything.
Literally didn't see that coming.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, good day.
Open fire!
Oh goodness gracious. Is it anything like what is it, Blackest Night, where they pretty much the whole dark side with the rings and everything? If it's anything like that, I'm totally down. Actually, I've actually heard that phrase yeah, quite a few times. It's basically, if you don't know what it means, it's like flying by the seat of your pants is like saying, like, you know, you don't really plan anything out. Of course, Matt is saying it, you know, in good taste. You know, it's trying to say that Holden is so spontaneous. He's just like, let's do it live, kind of a thing. But the expression is pretty much like saying you don't have an outline. You're just like, roll the cameras. Everything is candid. Everything is now. The moment is now. You know, no better time like the present, you know, kind of thing. It's the true definition of living in the moment and not, you know, not being hindered by having to plan things out and stuff like that. Honestly, my cast for Wolverine would be as much as he's been doing so many movies lately and so many comic book movies and stuff, I really would love to see Tom Hardy play Wolverine, just from a physique point of point of view, I guess. I haven't really thought of anyone playing Tom Hardy as far as like acting chops goes, so I haven't really given that much thought. I don't know. If I were to just like on a whim think about it and, you know, say, hey, I would love so and so to be Wolverine, it would probably be somebody who's relatively unknown, to be honest. I would probably, if it was my job to cast Wolverine, I would have a really rigorous audition process. I would have like an open cast for, you know, brand new fresh actors that, you know, are in the, you know, the early stages of their life. No one can say, oh, if I see so and so, all I could ever see is his portrayal as, you know, so and so in this franchise. I would like to get someone brand new, especially if we're doing like the young X-Men and stuff like that. I liked a lot of parts about the question was what my thoughts on The Rise of Skywalker was. I liked a lot of it. I think a lot of it was like they had to work with what they had because of The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi would be the Star Wars movie that I would retcon. I think that they butchered Luke Skywalker in The Rise of The Last Jedi, and I think that the Rise of Skywalker was just like, how do we take the bad and make good out of it? I could be wrong, but that's how I feel about it. It's definitely enjoyable. I thought it was okay. I think I personally would have wanted them to have Rey be related to Obi-Wan as opposed to Palpatine, but that's just me.
Mr. Lee's probably in the kitchen getting ready for the party.
No, I have not read Flashpoint yet. The question was if I've read the comics. I haven't read them yet. I see Mark McKeever is asking what the latest on Pastor's Clergy. If you actually go to my Teespring page, I actually have a Pastor's Clergy shirt that I designed that's on there. I'm going to actually order myself one of them so that I can wear them on the streams and stuff because I really like the way it came out. So definitely check it out. You know, check if you're interested in any kind of Pastor's Clergy swag. Check out my Teespring Snapkeep Videos store and get your own, you know, Pastor's Clergy shirt, because they look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Back on the Wolverine cast, Gambit's his favorite. Who would you bring for Gambit?
Who would I? The question is who would I cast for Gambit?
Yes.
Now, if you ask me who I would cast for Gambit, as far as like no time period, it doesn't matter what time frame. You know, not if I can go back in time and pull an actor out of the past, I would probably cast. Wow, that's a really good question. I would say somebody like Kevin Bacon, just because he has that smile from back in the day. Like if you watch Hollow Man, those little grins that he has, it just conveys Gambit for me. He would have to get the Cajun accent, because without the Cajun accent, I couldn't handle Gambit. But I would probably say Kevin Bacon on looks alone and acting. He's a pretty good actor. So Eric Nielsen is asking if I'm actually religious. I was raised Christian. Like Baptist, not Southern Baptist, but a Baptist upbringing. I definitely have faith in God and, you know, Christianity. I don't go to church every Sunday. I don't, you know, practice organized religion, but I definitely do believe in God and, you know, believe in the word and everything. And I don't have any kind of, what do I say, like problem saying that I don't go to church and stuff, you know. I'm very transparent even with that. I definitely believe that there is, you know, a God and stuff, and you know, and I definitely respect everyone else's belief. So if you believe in something else, you know, I totally respect. I will not judge you. To me, it's a personal preference. It's a very personal thing. So you know, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. Oh, Chief says that he would like to buy a Pastor's Clergy shirt, but where he lives, most people are Catholic and they might have a problem with it. I could totally respect that. I definitely respect that, and I don't want you to, you know, put yourself in any kind of weird position. You know, I definitely respect that. You know, you need to do what you need to do, but I definitely appreciate that you have an interest in it for sure.
Hey, Martin, so sorry I'm late.
You were right on time.
Spider-Man versus Batman, who would win? Honestly, I think it comes down to longevity. I can see if it's like a spontaneous battle, I think Spider-Man would win. I think if they like cross paths, if they were chasing the same person, that kind of deal, I think Spider-Man would win, because Batman wouldn't know what to do. But Batman has never lost a fight twice, so Spider-Man would definitely have to know that, and it would be one of those like tit for tat kind of a thing fights. So
Peter,
I would say that if it's like a spontaneous battle, Spider-Man has the edge. If Batman has enough time to come up with a way to defeat Spider-Man, I mean, he can trick Spider-Man into going in the middle of Central Park where there are no buildings, and then he's just Spider-Man. So, you know, not to say that, you know, is that, but when you have Superman as, you know, Batman's equal, so to speak, you know, in his own universe, his Spider-Man's super strength is not, you know, anything to, you know, brag about, but he does have the spider sense, so it's very circumstantial. As far as who I think would win in a fist fight, obviously Spider-Man, but Batman, you can't sleep on Batman.
So much and asking for nothing. I just wish there were more people like you in the world.
He's right.
Wow, that's really interesting.
You walked in here and told me you were inspired.
Yeah, I could see that. The witty, the funny, the humor, the, you know, very loud, I guess, persona that he has of being very in your face and very, you know, cackly laughter. Yeah, I could totally see that. That's it. Oh, go ahead. Oh. See,
thanks again for setting all
and I'm guilty of this as well. Maybe about a month ago, I learned that Star Trek was older than Star Wars. As a kid, it's funny you mentioned that, and I'm glad you're here, because a couple streams ago I mentioned my boss at work wanted me to, if I could, get a hold of the very first comic book that I ever had, because he wants to do a video on for his YouTube channel on comic books and what they mean to people and stuff like that. This was actually my very first comic book that I was ever given by my uncle. It's the same copy. I didn't go out and buy a new one, to represent it, or this is the exact copy. And it's the best of Star Trek, and it's really, really old. Like these are cracks in the actual paper, not scratches, and it's just a comic book. And I was so thrilled to have such a big book, that was one book, and it really made me fall in love with omnibuses. So Star Trek is definitely really awesome. I was not into it as much as Star Wars because I was a sucker for lightsabers, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you which one is better than the other, because I think they're as similar as they are, they're very different. And who wouldn't want a Jedi to say, "May the Force be with you," and then right after that beam me up to to the ship? It's something that we all want. Star Trek is a little bit more of a camaraderie, team oriented show and concept. I think Star Wars is more of you're in a team, you're in a rebellion, but it's big numbers as opposed to a pod of, it's Star Trek is special forces, and then Star Wars is the Army or the Marines or the Navy or whoever. So it's very different. I do love the concept that Star Trek is basically a bunch of space pirates. So in that regard, it's awesome. God, this suit looks good at night. Sorry, I just had to say that. It's amazing. It's like watching Spider-Man, the movie. Seriously.
Voicemail from Yuri.
Hey, silent alarm at the auction house holding Fisk's estate.
Oh, David, yeah, I think you texted me the other day. I know you texted me at 4 a.m. I was dead asleep, man. Yeah, I did finish your Death Note playmat. For those of you that don't know, like I said, David is a friend of mine in real life, not just from the channel. And he and I played Magic. We've played Magic together for years. We've known each other for years. And I made a custom playmat, which is basically just a gigantic mouse pad, with a sketch of the Death Note, the actual Death Note book, falling. And I've had it since before coronavirus, and we just haven't met up, to give it to him and stuff. But yeah, I definitely have it for you, man. I'll try and get it to the shop as soon as possible for you.
I lost track of you at the party.
Yeah, I had to get to the lab. Sorry.
Don't apologize.
Yeah. I didn't want to say, that was my choice, because I have seen that fan art as well, but because I really didn't give it any thought. I think that Channing Tatum can pull off Gambit. I just don't think that his level of humor is not humor, but his cockiness. The closest thing to Gambit we get is the 22 Jump Street kind of Channing Tatum. Because he's very serious looking. He's very he has the pretty boy look down, but he doesn't have the suave look. And I'm not saying he can't get it, but because he can definitely work on it and come up with the character on his own right. But he definitely has the physique. I definitely think he has the physique, because Gambit is very tall and very muscular. He's not just a lanky dude, so I could see that. Oh, wow. That's a shame. That would have been probably really cool. I'm guessing it was going to come out for Fox, and the whole acquisition from Disney and all that put a damper on that, I'm assuming.
Chief says he's definitely going to get me a Pastor's Clergy shirt, though, and I'll let the Joji keep stopping.
Oh, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys, like I said, you guys always touch on my heartstrings at least once during the stream. You guys are awesome. I really hope that you stick with us, not just me, but Holden and Matt and Jenna and Jeremy and even Prime, all of us, because we really value you guys. You guys are all we think about, all we talk about, as opposed to the rest of us, our family and stuff like that. But when it comes to what we want to do as a passion, I've pretty much not done anything else but think of YouTube and think of content creation. So when you guys message me on Instagram and you comment telling me what my videos or what my content has done for you and how it's helped you through coronavirus, it's helped you through any kind of other personal turmoil or anything like that, it makes me feel so good inside. You guys have no idea.
Can do.
Oh, wow. So I'm sure that there are, besides Venom, there is something, if I'm not mistaken, that can be done to Spider-Man to make his spider sense go out of whack. And I can totally see it, you know, being a factor. Because if you do turn his spider sense off, yes, Hawkeye can 100% hit him with an arrow. We have seen Spider-Man have moments where he gets taken by surprise.
This looks so cozy.
You know, whether it's canon or not, I don't know. But it would definitely rely on that for Hawkeye to hit him with an arrow, because his spider sense, in most lore, his spider sense is literally innate. He doesn't even control it. It's like Spawn's cape. It just takes over on its own, and he's just along for the ride. So if that's the case, then no, I don't think he could hit him. But if he does something that can hinder Spider-Man or blind him or blind that sense, then yeah, I don't see why not.
Whoa, careful.
Yes, she's claimed, actually, I'm trying to think. Oh, they're in the office right now. Yeah, she claimed the blue one. The blue one is hers. That lightsaber belongs to her. It does not belong to me anymore. I was really happy because I didn't know if she was going to be involved in that, you know, not fandom, but hobby. Because I am, as soon as coronavirus, you know, goes away, I'm going to join a saber fighting or saber training academy that's local. Because before I was under the impression that I had to go to like Singapore, but now here in Pensacola they have a saber training academy, and Holden actually used several of those you know, trainees and trainers in his Star Wars videos, and they're really good. You know, we use a dojo, or I would use a dojo with them and learn how to fence and how to block and everything. And the saber, you know, training was going to be something I was definitely going to do actively. And now that Ash is into it, it's awesome because her and I can do it together.
If they're here, where are they?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Move it, Pete. Bad guys are getting ready to be bad.
No, I did not. I have the original Battlestar, the first season on DVD. I was gonna buy. I was going to buy the entire series on DVD off of Facebook Marketplace, but the person that was selling it was having, let's just say, a bad day because the communication was just not there, and she ended up not wanting to sell it to me, so I wasn't able to buy it. But I do want to watch it from the beginning because I just finished The Office, and Dwight is like my favorite character, and he's big into Battlestar Galactica, so I need to know what the whole thing is about. Oh, thank you guys so much. Ash is just letting me know that a lot of you are saying that, you know, you guys think I'm great in the community and everything. Thank you guys so much for the support. You guys don't know what it means to me. One of these days, you guys are going to make me cry on stream, I promise. You can lure enemies by webbing nearby surfaces. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I've been fencing, or I have fenced, you know, a long time. I've done it since I was a kid. My uncles and stuff have always had swords and sword play and stuff like that around. So I, you know, I've always had fencing as something that I could do, you know, on my free time or whatever. But, you know, I'm really happy that I'm not the only one, you know, that'll do, you know, that'll talk about fencing and stuff like that, and not be the person who wears the, you know, that really awesome looking helmet, talking about fencing with like lightsabers and stuff.
Hey, what is that?
So Spawn's cape is very similar to Doctor Strange's cape. His body's made up of like a mixture of magic and necroplasm, and when his necroplasm runs out, he dies. He really dies. So like the true death kind of dying. His cape is just part of that power, but his cape is like kind of sentient. So if he's in trouble, the cape just kind of takes over. If he's in a moment where he's like pinned down or something like that, and you know the cape needs him to get out, it's kind of like Doctor Strange in the regard that the cape will just take over and he'll fly away. In the movie, you actually get to see it when they shoot him off the building,
And it wasn't a break.
and he falls down, and the cape comes out, and he just like flies around the building. That is the cape doing that. That's not him. He's just along for the ride. And the cape was very expensive to do for the movie, so you didn't get a lot of it. But the moments that you did see, the cape was acting on its own. It's 100% its own thing.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would love to have a video of like, you know, Matt fights with a lightsaber for the first time, or you know, we train or something like that. I would love to do that. I know a couple of like I don't even know the correct terminology, but like forms and like I don't know what they're called, but from muscle memory, I will like, you know, for videos where we have like sword play in the video, I'll kind of like pretty much what I learned from The Princess Bride is what I'll do as far as fencing goes. But I would love to learn the actual, like, you know, like the reverse triangle and all that kind of stuff.
You know what? I think I can make today work. Are you sure? You're here. No moment like the present.
Thank you.
That is very hard.
We're good.
My fandom says Batman because I like Batman more than Daredevil, but Daredevil is very, very good at what he does.
Look around and familiarize
in a hand-to-hand fight, I think Batman would win. If it's like the Batman from the comics that's like trained in all the other, you know, all of these martial arts and stuff like that. If it's just, you know, Christian Bale Batman, or like Batman where you don't really get that depth. I mean, I guess Christian Bale Batman you do get it because the Ra's al Ghul and everything. But like if you get like a Batman where it's just like Adam West Batman, then Daredevil will destroy him. But if it's you know, Daredevil and Batman where they're both master martial artists, it's very, very hard. Like Batman can use his gadgets and everything to help him win, but if it's like hand-to-hand combat, it's really rough. I don't know who would do it. Maybe Batman because he's more well-versed, but I really don't know. That's a really good question.
So much tension between these two figures.
So I noticed that we've been on for an hour and 50 minutes. I'm going to be on for another 10 minutes and just make it an even 2-hour stream today. I'm going to be thanking you guys from now until the end, but thank you so much for hanging out. The chat has just now went below 25 people. It's been consistent all stream. You guys are great. I don't know if it's Spider-Man. I don't know if it's me or if it's both, but thank you guys so much for hanging out. You know, and showing your support. Wow, lady, I'm like taking a picture of your nostril and you just disappeared. Hello. Goodbye. Hello. Goodbye. But thank you guys so much for the support. As you can see, I'm starting to get all loopy because I'm getting a little tired. Yes, my... Oh, yes, yeah. So the question was that that I collect pops, that it's common knowledge that I collect pops. If there's one that's my favorite pop that I own is my Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta, that I got signed by Christopher Sabat, because he personalized it. He was very, very awesome to meet, and it was a memory that I'll never forget, because it was like the coolest thing ever. When I asked him to personalize it, and he said, yeah, I would love to do that, it made my day.
Did you know him well before his arrest?
In a professional context, I handled many of his sales.
Yes, I cannot wait either. Jamie Foxx, I'm excited. I think Jamie Foxx has the charisma, and you know, he definitely has what it takes to do a good Al Simmons. I am really excited. Yes. I know for... I think for like 6 years when I was a kid, we would go to the medieval festival every year and buy like plastic swords and you know, like recorders made out of like wood and stuff. Then as I got older, I got more expensive stuff like real swords and like real like kilts and shirts and boot coverings and all that, and leather and all that. Coronavirus has put a hindrance on everything, obviously, and Ash and I, that's one of our favorite things to do. We love going to the medieval festival and going dressing up and stuff like that. So we're big fans of that. We're big fans of cosplaying of any kind, and I love, you know, putting on my kilt and my really nice comfortable frilly shirt and, you know, my long boots and my hat, and you know, I love doing that. It's a lot of fun.
Was there ever anything irregular in any of the sales you handled for him?
No. No, of course not. Not that I was aware of.
I have not gone to the Star Wars one yet. That is something that we really want to do. We want to take our oldest son there. We were going to take him there for his 5th birthday, but coronavirus happened. I have gone to the Harry Potter land and was able to go to both halves. So for those of you that don't know, when you go to the Harry Potter land, you
I was just wondering, now that he's arrested,
you ride the train on platform 9 3/4, and it takes you from, I believe, Hogsmeade to like right outside Diagon Alley or something like that, and you're able to experience the entire Harry Potter, I guess the imagery from the movies and everything like that. And we were able to go to the wand, the Ollivanders. We were able to go drink some butterbeer. They had an animatronic Hedwig. We went to Gringotts and saw the dragon blow fire out. It was amazing. It was such a good time. I really want to go back, and I really want to go to the Star Wars land. Obviously, I have to.
That shouldn't be here.
Hello? Craig? Can you hear me?
The aliens do. I'm sorry. I do love the Predator,
Craig,
but if you sleep on a xenomorph, that is your ass. You're dead. Like you are dead. Xenomorphs are like space raptors. They are so smart. They are so tenacious. They're willing to kill one of their own to get to what they need. And a Predator is all about honor and being gracious and all that. There's a xenomorph will eat you alive. Like there's just no way.
Be right back.
Shark repellent. That's hilarious. That's a very good point. MN Comic Book says that Batman will just throw an EMP on Daredevil, and then what could he do? Echolocation's gone. But yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think it would take some sort of gadget or some sort of upper hand, sleight of hand kind of a thing for Bruce to come on top, because Daredevil's just, Daredevil's insane. You watch the show, that one episode where that continuous shot in the hallway.
No,
my God, the level of ass kickery in that scene is insane. It's like 5 minutes of just, beating someone's face in.
This just turned into a huge story.
What do you mean he had to reschedule?
I think Matt will have a good time just from the spectacle of it. I don't think he'll dress up, but I definitely don't think he'll, dock it. I think, especially if it's anything to make content, if you guys, if we film it and stuff, Matt will be all about it. That is content for you guys, and he would be all about it. So I definitely don't think he'd have a problem with that.
Investigative journalists arrested. And the second thing,
Iron Man versus Batman would be a battle of the wallets. Who has a bigger wallet? Who has more time? I think Tony's arrogance would be his undoing. If he does lose, it would be because of his arrogance. I think Bruce's undoing would be because he is not willing to sacrifice his if Batman were to fight Iron Man, Bruce would not, if he didn't sacrifice his honor or his demons, that would be his undoing, and Tony, it would be his arrogance.
Pete told me about this.
Well, I don't know much difference between the Iron Man from the comics and the Iron Man from the MCU. I thought it was a very even display. But if it isn't, then I would have to get back to you on that and do a little bit more research. But I was under the impression that Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Iron Man was so iconic to the comics that's why it was so well received. But if he was different in the comics, then I would have to do more research, as I said, on that.
Statue can move. Most common pose is latent power. Mouth closed, left arm down. Facing forward.
Wow, you're like my spirit animal. You've said so many references in that one question/comment that I associate with. Welcome. Thank you so much for showing love. Yes, I just downloaded Arena, Magic the Gathering Arena. For those of you that don't know, it's the only game that I've played consistently for the last 10 years. And I wanted to get Arena. I heard that it was 100% free. All you have to do is just play and play and play and play. I got Moto, which is Magic Online. Slowly figuring out if I want to do a rental agreement so that I can start playing more different decks and stuff. that is something I was gonna do a poll and ask you guys. I know maybe, you know, there are only a couple of you who play Magic or know about Magic, but Magic the Gathering is something I've really been into. It's something I wouldn't mind doing a stream or, doing some sort of video where I just record a screen grab of me playing the game and then commentate on it and stuff. If you guys want to see Magic the Gathering content, I don't mind it at all, because I do enjoy it. I primarily play, for those of you that know what Magic, I play, aggro decks, mid-range decks, but I wouldn't mind doing like a video where I discuss, the game as I play, to kind of give you guys a little bit of a backstory of it, so you guys don't feel like you're a fish out of water. But yeah, Magic the Gathering is a lot of fun, and Ash and I are about to start playing Commander. I want to get her into that, and she is very excited to start playing. So
the catalog mentioned 2 poses: mouth closed, left arm down, right palm facing forward.
Demon in a bottle. Interesting. Haven't heard of that one. So his head is turned. That's right. See, I've played through this game twice, but it's been a while, so.
The catalog mentioned.
Not to mention, I am really, really tired. It's been a long day.
Left arm down, right palm facing forward.
Stay strong, brother. Gonna buy a shirt to help you. Please consider Patreon support first.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I am working right now on getting 4,000 watch hours. I'm a little over half the way there. Then I'll be able to do like weekly lives like Matt and Holden, and be able to do like lives and stuff with super chats. I know people were asking about super chats, and that would be really cool. That'd be a way that you guys, for those that want to support the channel and stuff, that would be really cool for that to be ready for me to do. I'm really looking forward to being able to have all of YouTube unlocked for me. Currently right now I just I'm still grinding, so I really appreciate the support and you guys being eager to want to help me get there and stuff, and I know it'll happen. So oh really, holy crap, Goblin dude, that's Goblins is where it's at, man. Mono red all the way.
Mouth closed, left arm down, right palm facing forward.
So I think, let's see. So I guess now would be a good time to stop. I know the boys are getting restless. So the hand is up and the palm is up. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to hop off the stream. Oh, wow. Georgie Boy said that a good Patreon reward would be playing D&D with me. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I didn't even think of that. Thank you so much for the, for the ideas. I definitely need them so that I know what to give you guys and not, feel like I'm cheating you guys out of money, because that's my big thing. To be 100% real with you, I don't want to charge you guys for something that I don't feel like it's valuable. So if you guys can continue to give me any kind of indication of something you guys would want for Patreon, I would consider, having a Patreon real seriously, and sit down with Holden and Matt and get their input on what they do for Patreon and how it works for them, and the things I need to know about it. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. Joyful Spirit, all you guys saying good night. Thank you guys. I love you guys. I will be filming this weekend, hopefully filming tomorrow with Holden, but we will be filming this weekend more movies for you guys, more content creation, that kind of thing. I'm going to try and do a couple more lives before the weekend, maybe even tomorrow. If you guys want Spider-Man, I know it was a great success tonight for me. I'll do Spider-Man tomorrow night again if I can if I can do it at the same time around 8ish o'clock. I'll try that. If I'm not doing it tomorrow night, it's because I'm filming with Holden still. So if not tomorrow night, then probably most likely it'll be on Friday. I might double up on Friday and do one in the morning, like a smaller one in the morning, and then one at night around the time that I normally do. But definitely appreciate it. I'm going to go get some sleep because I am exhausted. And I will see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for the support. Love you guys. I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.